He's Shaun the sheep, he's Shaun the sheep. He even mucks about with those who cannot bleat. Keep it in mind, he's one of a kind. Oh, come and blink with Shaun the sheep.
Organising a project like this is a fairly major task in that it starts probably about a year before anything's filmed, sometimes even longer than that. You basically have to break the film down into its kind of component parts. How many puppets you're going to need, how many sets you're going to need. And at first that happens on a very broad level from a script, so you just say, oh, this part of the film's in a farm, so pull that away. And then as you get more information from storyboarding, you start to work on a very specific shot-by-shot basis. In terms of production management, you need to be aware of casting. Certain animators are better at certain types of shots, so you might have an animator who's extremely good at action, or one who's extremely good with emotional work. And on a feature film, you need to make sure that the character sort of pulls you through the whole film, that it's really strong in terms of the character animation, and also that you're getting big laughs from all the gags. So every shot needs to have the right animator on it and make sure it really kind of pulls its weight in the film as a whole.
I've been working for Aardman for 17 years, making sets and designing sets. I'm doing all of it, so I'm doing the sketches, I'm doing some computer modelling sometimes on the more complicated sets, then I'm drawing up the sets, and then I'm overseeing the build. So I can be working on a set for months and months. The set that this is part of behind me was, probably almost 5 months work on and off. Well, scale's very important in the film. I mean, generally on the different projects, it's usually all down to how you're perceiving the character in the set. The things that constrict us probably are length, especially if you're travelling through a set. And we've got a lot of chase stuff going to go on in the film, and we've got to try and not look all the way down a road as you're looking directly down it, because that just means as you move through it, it means miles and miles of set. So we try and look 3/4 down, but that's with storyboarding and with directors that we sort of come to these sort of arrangements. Costs a lot to build sets, so if it's there and ready-made, that's great. We've had Wallace and Gromit, which is all 50s films. We've had Pirates, which is Victorian. Some of that works in the city, and we've reused quite a lot from that. But all the bases that we make, we'll use again, because there's a huge amount of wood and resources have gone into it, so we'll recycle as much as possible.
I'm just going to go through how we take the script and turn it into storyboards, which is the first visual stage of the film. Once we've done that and got our quick acting and rough angles down, we start drawing up the script into final story panels. So it just takes all of our thumbnails and blows them up a bit. And eventually it starts coming to life. We tend to keep the drawings quite loose and rough because it changes such a lot that if you spent hours and hours making really nice, perfect drawings, they tend to get trashed and put onto the cutting room floor. So by doing this, we can really try and get the story as sorted as possible before we go back later on, and we'll do a polish over the top of it to make everything look nice and just figure out more tightly what's going on so that when it gets to the floor they can set it up as close as possible to the storyboard.
I'm a senior model maker up here at Aztec West on a feature film. I've been a part of the team that's made all these different types of Shaun as well, so he's my favourite character at the minute. Yeah, so it's like a ball and socket armature inside, and he'll move and bend his legs like so. It's a tiny little skeleton that we will actually set into the moulds normally. So we use lots of different types of material. Aardman obviously is known for plasticine, but we use far more products than that. We use a foam latex. You cook it up in a food mixer and you bake it in the oven, and then it's very much, it feels like sort of fabric and it's very soft. I've currently been working on this puppet, Shaun, here at the moment, and the amount of pieces he has roughly is between about 9 and 10 different separate components which we'll have to mould and cast and paint. It will take about 6 to 7 weeks to produce the one puppet. Cost is a big constraint, time is another constraint, also design as well, so that really dictates on how long we have to make a puppet. A good example of that is when we consider Shaun from the TV series, we have a two-legged and a four-legged Shaun. Now we could make a Shaun that could go into a four-legged, which we have done in the past, but it's actually cheaper and more cost-effective for us to actually produce that, and it also the body proportions look a bit better rather than having to bend a two-legged Shaun into a four-legged Shaun. So that's really sort of tasting what's going on there. He'll come back not as much broken as, say, some of the background sheet. We have a lot of background sheet that'll go out and they'll need sort of replenishing, and leg skins will need replacing, wires snap. So yeah, it really varies on the puppet basically.
I'm going to do that again. Sorry, I forgot what it was.
Okay.